Yo, how's it going, y'all? Let's get it going. Gonna chill out for a bit and get into the Epstein stuff. This UK censorship, that one is really interesting me. And just online censorship in general. We're gonna get into all this here in a second. But until then, I need to get some housekeeping done and get things set up right.
Astral, drop into the stream. Yeah, the vibe supernatural, orbiting the thread, feeling cosmic
In fractals.
Astral, riding chaos that's peace and disaster.
Oh, my fault, guys.
Master all the factors.
I hope y'all having a good day. I'm getting started late as per usual.
What doesn't matter, we're trapped in time. Talking to you through wires and signs. Stuck in a loop, but the loop feels right.
Alright. Not chilling. Oh. Alright, so the plot thickens, basically. We're gonna hop into it. This is CBS covering forensics expert analysis on Jeffrey Epstein jail video. So basically, this whole jail video has been up in the air forever. They said they were going to release raw footage. Boom, we could see it all. Granted, when it happened like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there was no footage because all the cameras were down. However, apparently not. Only, well, one of the cameras was working out of, I don't even know how many were there. But either way, the story keeps flipping, and I guess this is the next chapter, so we're going to dive in.
Used in the investigation of the death of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Deputy Director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, described that video on Fox and Friends just weeks before its release.
There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one.
Friends just weeks before its release.
There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this, we are working on cleaning it up to
We're working on cleaning it up.
make sure you have an enhanced.
To make sure you have an enhanced.
And we're going to give the
An enhanced view or enhanced, file, I guess, to look at, right?
original so you don't think
But we're going to give you the original.
there were any shenanigans. You're going
But the original, wouldn't that, imply the raw footage? And raw footage wouldn't be enhanced, right? Raw footage would be just raw footage. So already that statement right there is a little off. It's like, well, we need to make sure we doctor it up first, but listen, you're getting the raw stuff. And it's like, wait, what? You kind of have to pick one. You can't really have it both ways.
to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out.
Which, from at least the video that I've seen, it's not really clear that he's the only person in there. I mean, at least I haven't seen him going into there. Maybe they play it in this.
Multiple video forensics experts who agreed what the FBI and others have said is simply not true.
Also, I'm super confused. So I was under the impression that it was like this door or this door, right? That was my impression. But I've heard it could have been this door, which, if I move if I move this over, boom. Oh my gosh, you guys couldn't see this anyway. Oh my gosh. I just realized that. What's going on, Travis? So apparently, because this is the footage, right? Boom. So I thought it was this door or this door, but apparently, I don't know, I've heard people say it was this door, which is insanity, because it's like, you can't even see that door. You can't even see it. So I'm really hoping it was one of these two, but either way.
to the conclusion by the government that Epstein's death on August 10, 2019, was suicide. An analysis in consultation with video forensic experts suggests multiple inconsistencies between statements from government officials, including Bongino, a report from the Department of Justice's Office of the Inspector General into Epstein's death released in 2023, and the tape itself. These inconsistencies, while not contradicting the conclusion Epstein died by suicide, do introduce questions that the government so far has declined to answer. We'll show you those in a moment.
Hey, this looks suspicious. We decline to answer.
First, let's break this all down. Epstein was held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Lower Manhattan, in a unit separate from the general population known as the Special Housing Unit, or SHU. The unit has 3 wings, each with 2 levels. Epstein was held in the upstairs L tier of his wing. That tier is accessed by a set of stairs from the central common area. Directly adjacent to those stairs is the officer's station, where on-duty...
Okay. So hold up.
Common area. Directly each with 2 levels. Epstein was held in the upstairs L tier of his wing.
So he's over here.
That tier is accessed by a set of stairs from the central common area.
So that's what we're seeing.
Directly adjacent to those stairs is the officer's station, where on-duty corrections officers spend most of their time. The Inspector General report says several cameras in the unit were streaming a live feed to a remote location in the prison, but no one was watching them.
But what about this camera right here? Or is this just for show? Because if there's a camera right here, that, like, I mean, depending on the viewing angle, right? And then you can't see it, but like off screen, like right here, it's like a camera as well. Well, you still can't see it, but whatever. Which may have had view, so I don't know.
Malfunctioning equipment meant only one camera.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Them. Malfunctioning equipment meant only one camera recorded the general area. That camera captured part of the common area, including the officer's station and a sliver of the staircase leading to Epstein's cell.
Oh my gosh, so it wasn't even this door. They're saying the cell is over on this other side? Because I was thinking the camera was going to be over on this side. Well, no, because if that's the desk, yeah. Well, this is weird, because in the video... Oh, we got to watch the video again.
The footage begins at 7:40 p.m. the night before Epstein.
So from...
leading to Epstein's cell. The footage begins at 7:40 p.m. the night...
So there's basically no footage. There's the staircase right here.
The staircase leading to Epstein's cell.
Staircase right here. Staircase right here.
Begins at 7:40 p.m.
So yeah, staircase. You can't even... I'm so confused. Is his cell basically up a staircase over here into the side, or am I just like really confused here?
The night before Epstein's death.
Yeah, Daniel, Bitendag. Yo, seriously, it's like...
Epstein's cell. The footage begins at 7:40 p.m. the night before Epstein's death. You can see staff and inmates moving about, preparing for the nightly lockdown. That's the...
I'm so dumb. I really thought it was one of these doors.
Station in the background. Only 2 employees have been publicly identified. Tova Noel, a corrections officer pulling a double shift that began at 4 p.m., and Michael Thomas, a materials handler who won't arrive until midnight. Epstein is seen for the first and only time on camera at 7:49 p.m. when the department...
So, 7:49 p.m., boom, he's going over there. Okay. Supposedly, in this grainy picture. So, I mean, take it for what it is.
Department of Justice said he was escorted to his cell from another wing of the unit. It's important to note here, you don't actually see Epstein ascend the...
Oh, sure. Oh, my God. Okay.
Stairwell to his cell block. Remember what Dan Bongino said.
There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
Let's zoom in and play that again in slow motion.
This is clear as day. Mind you, this is clear as day, okay?
Epstein is here with his escort, and they walk off screen. When the FBI released the video, they said anyone entering or attempting to enter the tier where Epstein's cell was located from the common area would have been captured by this footage. But with the primary entrance here, the pathway from the entrance to the stairs is completely out of view of the camera. For the next hour or so, corrections officers and inmates are seen moving about, preparing for all.
This is far worse than I thought. I seriously really thought it was one of these doors over here. This is the footage. You don't even know if he went up the stairs according to this footage. You can't see who else went up the stairs, and apparently one of the entrances or the entrance is out of view as well. So either they have more footage that they're not showing, or they're just full of shit, because who the hell says that this is like conclusive, that this is like clear as day? Like, you don't even need to, you know what? This is my thought. Because everybody was freaking out. Oh my gosh, it's missing a minute. It's missing a minute. Oh my gosh, there's all these cuts in it that show that it's not, it's been spliced together. It's not raw footage. It's, something's been tampered with. You don't even need to tamper with it. So I feel like they tamper with the footage to send people on a wild goose chase. So people are like, oh my gosh, they tampered the footage. Or we need to look for something. When in reality, dude, the camera's not going to show you anything in the first place. Maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong.
All prisoners to be locked down. At 8:21, another inmate is seen being escorted toward the stairs leading to Epstein's cell area. No movement is detected on the stairs again. By 8:24, all of the inmates appear to have been taken to their cells. Noelle told the Inspector General she visited Epstein's cell at about 10 p.m. You can see her head in that direction here, albeit closer to 10:30, but not climb the stairs. The rules require rounds to be made every 30 minutes, but according to the report, this was the only time anyone checked on the inmates that night. There was even a sign printed on orange paper posted on the guard station saying,
"This is crazy. Mandatory? ? Or is that like added in post? Rounds must be conducted every 30 minutes on Epstein as per God."
Mandatory rounds must be conducted every 30 minutes on Epstein, as per God. This was because of concerns about his risk for suicide. At 10:38 p.m., the report says someone, probably Noelle, carries a bundle of bedding or clothing up the stairs. It's a rare instance the video does catch movement on the stairs.
That's a little weird. I mean, maybe it's not weird. That's probably a normal thing for them to do, right? They're probably, giving people bedding or something.
But barely. Let's see that zoomed in and in slow motion again.
You're saying he's not even dead, There was the whole body double conspiracy when this was happening, and that he's not dead. And with the more that this is being brought up and what we're seeing, I'm believing that more and more, honestly. Jeff is on some island. They swifter it with a fake dead body, or dead double with the fake weird nose that doesn't match. He is not. Yeah, guys, I'm leaning. Look, I'm starting to teeter. I'm starting to teeter over on that edge now, because at first I was like, okay, they got rid of him because he had dirt on everybody. So they got rid of him and everything. Now he's no longer a problem. But you know what? At this point, I don't even know.
But barely. Let's see that zoomed in and in slow motion again. Several of the video forensic experts we spoke with were skeptical about the report's conclusion and thought that the video could be showing an inmate walking up the stairs. Authorities say this was the last time anyone approached his cell block until his body was discovered the next morning. Again, while the video does not contradict that, experts who viewed the video say the limited field of view makes it impossible to definitively conclude that no one used Again, while the video does not contradict that, experts who...
It's just funny. Although the video does not contradict that, the experts
viewed the video say the limited field of view makes...
I don't think you need to be an expert to know, you're not seeing anything on this camera.
Makes it impossible to definitively conclude that no one used those stairs in that time period. Beyond this, there are other issues our investigation and others have uncovered. At 11:21 p.m. and 34 seconds, a cursor appears briefly on screen, indicating the video may have been recorded with a camera or a screen recording.
Again, I think this might be just a distraction.
and was not an export of the raw file. The FBI said it had seized the prison's hard drive 5 days after his death and had released...
I'm not saying it's hard to believe. Like, look, what I'm saying is, at first I was like, it could go either way with that. But now that they didn't have footage in the first place, this is what they said when it happened. All the cameras were down. The guards were asleep. Now it's like, well, maybe the guard, I don't know, maybe the guards weren't asleep. Who knows? They have one camera. It conclusively shows that nobody went into the room. They show you the camera footage. You can't see anything. I don't know. I'm starting to lean more towards, how do we know that's even Epstein that they walked past the camera to put in the cell? How do we even know that? You can't even see that. He could have literally just walked out of the cell off camera. They could have been walking him out or walked him up the stairs and walked him right back down the stairs and he could have left. Literally. Yeah, see, you're saying he was never in the cell. That's what I'm saying, is it's like you can't even really show that he was even put in the cell. I thought that the video was, like I said, of those doors that are right there. Oh my gosh, that is some sneaky stuff. You know what? That was my fault for making the assumption, honestly. That was my fault. You assume, make out an ass out of me and you, all the good stuff. It's crazy.
Released the full
it's crazy.
Footage this month. Two experts told CBS News the video's metadata, which tracks how a file is created and changed, shows it's made from 2 clips stitched together in editing software. Those experts also...
I really want, I love that. Yes. Dude, I need to get a cane. Guys, we're going to invest in a cane.
Saved multiple times. Next up, the now famous missing minute. At 11:57 and 35 seconds, an individual appears on screen from the direction of the main door. It's likely this is Michael Thomas arriving for his midnight shift and replacing the other staff member on duty who'd been working from 4 to midnight. Noel was starting a second shift of 8 hours. From that point on, only Noel and Thomas were on duty during the critical window when Epstein is believed to have died. At 11:58 and 58...
Believed to have died. Believed. What do we got? Fuck the haters. Yeah. No, the haters, they belong here as well. Bridges need trolls. Trolls need bridges. Allow me to be your bridge. Just don't be a spammer. Those things are annoying, and you're going to get banned for that. But otherwise...
Seconds, the video jumps to midnight, and the aspect ratio of the video changes slightly. Another indication it may have been edited. Zooming in and playing back in slow motion, you can see a slight shift in the shape of the figure standing or sitting around the officer's desk, but otherwise, nothing changes. Attorney General Pam Bondi attributed the missing minute to a nightly reset of the security camera system.
There was a minute that was off the counter, and what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999, so every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing, so we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night.
That additional video has not been released, and a government source is alleged to CBS News the FBI and other agencies are in possession of the full, unedited footage. Why the FBI did not release that is unclear, and the agency offered no comment. Importantly, the Inspector General gives no indication there was a minute missing when their team reviewed the video. We can surmise the male staffer working the 4 to 12 shift would have left during the missing minute based on the report, leaving just Noel and Thomas. But that is not seen on camera. Serious problems with the government's investigation and witness statements don't end there. The report says the unit was secured by 2 doors, one requiring a key held only by Noel and Thomas. Noel told investigators no one could enter without her physically opening that door. But here's where it gets tricky. Let's look at this one example. 4 a.m. Noel remains in full view of the camera, yet seconds later, someone walks in, and it appears neither Noel nor Thomas let her in. The report is silent on this apparent contradiction. And even if there was no other key, both Noel and Thomas had ample opportunities
They just prop the door open.
to let someone in. At least a half dozen times, one or the other of them exits the camera frame in the direction of the door, all without explanation. We shared this with our forensic experts who agreed there was no way to conclusively determine from the video whether an unseen visitor was or was not let into the Epstein unit, although both Noel and Thomas have said no one else entered. At 6:22, either Thomas or Noel walk off screen again and reappear carrying food trays, breakfast for the prisoners. At this point, based on the autopsy results, Epstein is believed to already be dead.
Could you imagine being one of the guards that work here? You weren't feeling good that night. Maybe you hit up your coworker, hey man, can you cover my shift? I'm really not feeling good. You go to sleep, you're sleeping like a baby. You wake up the next morning, Epstein is dead. That's crazy. The relief you must feel for missing that shift, wild.
According to Thomas's account, he arrived at Epstein's cell to deliver his breakfast and found him in a seated position, his buttocks an inch from the ground, held up by a torn sheet tied to the bunk bed in his room. At 6:30,
would that work?
someone rushes
I
in
guess,
from off
right?
camera, according to the report. This was Noel returning to the desk to call for help.
Man, I couldn't imagine that, man. Could you imagine just being like I'm not saying anybody's in on it or anything like that, right? This is all alleged stuff. We're hypothesizing, okay? But assuming, you just go over there to the cell and you see that, man, your heart just bumps out of your chest at that point, because it's like the one thing you were supposed to do was make sure this person didn't do that. So
After Thomas discovered Epstein, Epstein's body was quickly removed from the cell. Only Noel and Thomas witnessed him hanging. At 6:40 a.m., the video ends. Epstein's body was quickly removed from the cell. Only Noel and Thomas witnessed him hanging. At 6:40 a.m., the video ends.
wasn't there something, okay, when this was coming out in the past, I thought there was something about the inmate next to him in the room next to him or something hearing something. Wasn't there, or was that the first time that something had happened and then they moved him to this facility? Never mind.
Epstein's body is not seen being removed. Both Thomas and Noel have said they played no role in Epstein's death. They were charged with falsifying documents, but those charges were dropped as part of a plea deal. Additional clarification could come from a second camera mentioned in the report. It recorded an elevator bank in the same unit, although the report stated that it did not cover areas that would have included access to Epstein's cell. It would at least show a missing minute. We reached out to the Department of Justice to see about obtaining that footage. They referred us to the FBI, who referred us back to the Department of Justice. Neither Thomas nor Noel responded to our inquiries through their legal representatives. For a case that demanded transparency, we reached out to the access to Epstein's cell. It would at least show a missing minute. We reached out to the Department of Justice to see about obtaining that footage. They referred us to the FBI, who referred us back to the Department of Justice. Neither Thomas nor Noel responded to our inquiries through their legal representatives. For a case that demanded transparency, it's yet another muddled chapter,
Weird.
raising more questions than it answers.
Yeah, it's always more questions than answers. Yeah, I got really weird eyes, guys. I'm sorry. It's like a shining gun, like a reading gun. No, these screens are just like, especially when the light's off in the room. So it's kind of nice having these on. Not too weird. They're all a joke. They all were, and wanted to farm babies. Yeah, I do think both sides are implicated. If there's anything there, the left would have used it on the right would have used it on the left. If they're not using it on each other, then they're both probably implicated. Because what other reason would they have to hide it? Now, some people say that Epstein was a CIA honeypot or a Mossad agent. That's what a lot of people say too, because I could see that. And the government can't really be like, yeah, we had this guy doing these horrible things on our behalf. So they kind of have to sweep it under the rug. There's so many things that this could be. But again, there's just more questions than answers. Exactly. The face hidden by the banister. I'm like, come on. You don't even know if they're walking him over there. So, yeah. All right. I think that's all that. Wait, that was what I had. Yeah, that's what I had for Epstein at this point. We're flipping to something else here, guys. Censorship on the internet, specifically the UK, but the internet at large. Needing an ID to get on the internet. Should we need an ID? Should we protect the children? Or is the government trying to basically clamp down on the internet and control us all? I don't know. But Asmongold up here, by the way, that was CBS, obviously a news channel. Go check them out, that last one. That was their coverage. Hold up. Boom. CBS News, obviously. So go check him out. But we're going to check out Asmongold on this one. He was sounding the alarm the other day, and he got me thinking about a lot of stuff. But if you haven't seen him, Asmongold, boom, big streamer. I think the largest maybe the largest streamer, and content creator and whatnot. But he was sounding the alarm on this the other day, and I found this interesting.
Hi guys, it's me again, and today I want to talk about my favorite topic, internet censorship. And you know what's really upsetting? The fact that every single other government in the world seems to have that in common with me. Every other government right now is making laws, rules, and regulations for what can and can't be on the internet. And there is a little phrase that my mom used to always tell me, and it used to be, the road to hell is paved
By good intentions.
But here's the thing.
I heard
These
that
people
a lot.
don't have good intentions. They say it's for the kids. Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, sure.
Trojan horse.
You don't want to have kids on social media. You don't want to have kids looking at certain weird stuff. Very true. But let's be honest. The real reason why they're doing it is the same reason why YouTube removed dislikes. It's very simply because companies that are running advertising campaigns, pushing narratives and social agendas that aren't popular. And
I swear the news sites, before they got rid of dislikes, the news sites would have so many more dislikes generally than likes, or it'd be like 50-50. And when they got rid of dislikes, they said it was to protect creators' mental health, I think is how YouTube spun it. I was like, no, I feel like there's corporate interests that are like, you guys just get rid of, negative reviews.
also governments that are doing the exact
They're
same
like,
thing.
we could censor the comment sections, because trust, you could just go into like your little YouTube account, you could just type words that you don't want in your comment section, and poof, they're gone, right? They're like, we thank you for those controls. You could just turn off your comment section, but they couldn't control the likes and dislikes. That one I don't think you could control. So they're like, just shut those off. And YouTube was like,
were upset and getting their feelings hurt because the people had the power of consensus. The people had the power of assembly, and they would assemble on that little red line on the bottom of a video, and it would show everybody else that this is bullshit. How many times have you guys read an article and you thought to yourself, this is the stupidest fucking thing
what he talks about here.
my entire life? And you scroll down to the comment section and the top comment says the exact thing that you think, and you're like, okay, I'm not crazy.
Right?
Well, guess what? How do you solve that problem if you're the company? Do you write better articles?
Absolutely not. That's absurd.
Absolutely not. No, of course not. You delete the comment section.
This blew my mind because a decade ago when he mentioned this, so like I think it's been like a decade, but you used to be able to go to news sites, you'd read an article, and you could scroll down the bottom and read comments, and it was actually pretty interesting. And no news site, I don't know if any news sites have a comment section, at least none that I've like seen, right? So it's crazy, just crazy, and it just always blew my mind because I'm like, they just don't want people arguing, they just don't want people pushing back against whatever they're writing, and it's like, that's kind of insane. Don't you want feedback if you're trying to like inform people of something? Then you kind of want to hear what people are saying, so you know what to look for, what to look at, how people are, receiving it and whatnot, like what's out there. It's just kind of crazy.
And that's what they're trying to do with the entire internet. We used to have, back in the ancient days, in the ancient texts, every website used to begin with www, World Wide Web. And I think we're losing those first two W's, and I think that's a big fucking
It's a web. It's a web.
L. The fact is that we are going to be moving towards a world and a society where different internets are siloed off based off of region. This is already happening. Look at what happened with, for example, Twitch and South Korea. Now South Korean websites
Not as familiar with that. I don't know what he's referencing there.
are pretty much unique, and they do their own thing by themselves. This, in my opinion, is just a precursor of what's going to happen all across at least the Western world. Now, whenever I have conversations about this, I'm having conversations about this from the context of an American, okay? We have more freedom of speech than many other people in the world. And so when I say something like, the reality is, I think, and this is the truth, okay? You might not like this, you might not want to hear it, but if you're realistic and you take your fucking idealism cap off just for a second, you're going to realize this is true. We're going to have real ID on the internet. It's going to happen. You might not
Almost surprised we don't have it already, which we kind of do, because a lot of sites will ask for your ID.
like it. I don't necessarily like it, but it's going to happen. And it's not going to be in 20 years. It probably won't even be in 10 years. It'll probably be sooner than that. And I wouldn't be surprised if things keep going the way that I think they are, that it happens even sooner than that. We're having this happen with social media. You had Spotify and you had YouTube too. And YouTube and Spotify are asking for your IDs now to make sure that you're not underage. And they have an AI checking system. So if you say it's lit or on God, you instantly get sent to YouTube Kids, which honestly, I kind of think that's doing everybody a favor, right? But the reality is that YouTube and Spotify shouldn't be the ones that are doing this. They should not be the ones handling your driver's licenses. They shouldn't be the ones handling your personal information. How'd that go with the T app, by the way?
Yeah, the T app it didn't work well with. Now, granted, it does seem like the app was set up very poorly, and a bunch of people essentially got doxxed from it. But yeah, do you want all of these companies, like all of these different platforms that you have to sign up to, you have to give each of them your ID? It's just you're asking for that to leak out because you're doing it over and over and over again.
So in case anybody doesn't know, the T app was an app made for fat, ugly, middle-aged women to post pictures and henpeck men who didn't call them back after the first date because of the obvious reasons. And guess what happened? Well, in the most pristine and pure version of karma possible, all of these women who had their information, were putting out their information to, basically like posting the public information of these men against or without their consent, had all of their public information and private information leaked completely to the public. And now you saw the pictures of all the people, and man, oh my God, like stereotypes exist sometimes for a reason. And so anyway, this happened, and I'm not going to say it's a hack because there was no security.
Yeah, it didn't really seem like a hack.
The guy that was running this this app, apparently, I heard that after he gets done running this app, Sony's going to hire him for their privacy division.
But the overall point to this was online censorship, real ID coming in. And I've been seeing a lot of stories coming out of the UK, specifically when it comes to censorship here.
Ministry of Truth Back, the UK has created an elite police unit known as the National Internet Intelligence Investigations Team, dedicated to monitoring anti-migrant social media posts. Leaders claim its purpose is to detect early signs of potential unrest.
Unrest like this protest and counter-protest had erupted after a 38-year-old asylum-seeking migrant was charged with sexual assault for attempting to kiss a 14-year-old girl.
Despite the surveillance, UK's Prime Minister insists he still believes in free speech.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud about that. We protect it.
Like a 2-second snippet here.
Is public.
Access stuff online that shouldn't be seen by children, you could be presented with a screen like this, a proper age verification check. And if you've got an under 18s account on social media, your feed should now be full of far less harmful content. Why is this all happening? Can this system really help protect children online? And does it work? I'm Mickey Carroll, and I've been covering the build-up.
I think like the one benefit it can have to have real ID is to protect kids. That is an actual benefit that can come from it. You can segregate off kids to have a kids section, just like kids YouTube. Then you could have all the other content on the regular internet, and then you don't have to worry about all those problems. But it's a double-edged sword, so.
For the internet being enforced. I've been speaking to families who have lost their children after they were exposed to harmful content.
He should be 18 on Sunday, and he's not.
I've asked the government and regulators how confident they are this will work.
The safety of children online is going to take the biggest step forward since the creation.
Yo, Justin, you said an ID is recorded with personal information. Is there a way, because I think Asmongold spoke of this, he said there should be a third party, you give them your ID, they verify it, and then they don't ever send your ID over to, the platform that needs the authentication. They just say, yes, they've been authenticated. Now, is there a way to do that and then just delete your data afterward? So they have the authentication. They're like, we went through the authentication process. You get rid of the personal data so you don't have to worry about leaking it and then just move on. Or I guess they would have to keep the personal information. Like, I don't know.
Of the internet.
Tried out the age verification tech that the government's relying on to block children accessing harmful content. I look creepy, but I look like a real person.
Oh wow.
And I've even watched ethical
is,
hackers
that's
stress
uncanny.
testing this new system.
Just got around it.
Now the day has come, but it's not as simple as the government just flicking the switch.
Well, there's always going to be people trying to find a way around something. There's obviously Sky
Ofcom is
News.
now enforcing its children's codes, which have been coming since the Online Safety Act was made law in 2023. Among other measures, this means websites that have specific adult content on them, like pornography, need to age check their users, and those with violent or harmful content need to protect under 18s. In their simplest form, the codes are designed to protect children online, mainly by blocking young people's access to harmful content and by removing illegal content from the internet. We're going in to see Peter Kyle, who is the tech minister. Now, in the run-up to these codes being introduced, he's been pretty insistent that they're going to make a dramatic change for children using the internet. So I want to find out why he is so convinced.
It's important because this is a moment where
we do get a lot of people from the UK in chat. I think it's like the third biggest demographic. But if there's anybody there, is there a large issue with online content there where you think that this is a good idea, that this should be implemented?
The safety of children online.
Or are you against it? What's going on, Try Before JT? Hey, welcome back.
Since the creation of the internet. And finally,
Oliver, what's going on?
Having platforms who are having to verify people's age before they access material. And there will be very steep sanctions if material finds its way into children's hands and it is inappropriate.
It's all well and good saying Ofcom is going to regulate the internet, but in practice, that's actually really hard. So we're here to talk to the regulator themselves and find out exactly what they plan to do.
So in practice, there are a range of technologies that companies can use to put...
I'm kind of missing that a little bit, so hold on. I think I missed something because I was responding. Because it sounds like they're saying, well, you go through this verification and then you're good to go. But they said there's going to be a steep penalty for kids accessing that information. So does that mean if a kid were to circumvent what you put there to stop them from getting the information, get the information, would the platform that's holding that information that allowed them to see it then be held like liable for it? Because basically what you're setting up is just incentivizing the platform to even have heavier moderation in a way.
Finds its way into children's hands and it is inappropriate.
I don't know why I'm pink, you know, I just am. That's just the lighting. No, this is just my regular skin tone actually. I'm just like pink.
It's all well and good saying Ofcom is going to regulate the internet, but in practice...
Matt, you said, I think they're doing this for other reasons, not children. It's a way for government to moderate use. I could see that already. Well, no, without a doubt. I was just saying, there is a use case for it that I don't think is sinister and malicious. However, I'm kind of with you on it. It's a little scary because who holds the keys, you know, of power with this, right?
That's actually really hard. So we're here to talk to the regulator themselves and find out exactly what they plan to do.
So in practice, there are a range of technologies that companies can use to put the age checks in place. So examples are things like facial age estimation, which we're all very used to using when we open our phones, for example. Other examples are things like mobile network operator checks or checks based on email or open banking.
How confident are you that Ofcom is going to be able to regulate the internet in all its hugeness?
Well, we know this is a huge challenge, and there are an awful lot of services that are in need to make changes under this law. With that, we will then
take it easy. Try before JT.
Don't come into this law. With that, we will then enforce the regime. So where companies don't come into compliance, we won't hesitate to take enforcement action, which can include significant fines. In addition, if we need to build on our rules through talking to children and seeing how their experiences change, we will be ready to do that as well.
So how does all of this actually work? Well, I'm in central London and we're going to go and get a look behind the scenes at this new age verification technology. There are lots of systems now being used in the UK, like Persona, OneID or Yoti, that are helping companies verify their users' ages.
So yeah, who does the responsibility fall on? It would fall on these companies, right?
There are lots of systems now being used in the UK, like Persona, OneID or Yoti, that are helping companies verify their users' ages. Yoti uses AI to estimate people's ages, while others are using...
How accurate is that? Is that accurate? I mean, it must be, right? I mean, well, we're going to find out. I'm sorry. I'm like, What?
Details or government IDs. So we are here at Yoti. I'm with Matt. He's going to show me exactly how this tech works and give us...
I'm just saying, if you had 100% accuracy, you would almost never have to check IDs at a bar. You could just have a camera up there that'll just flag anybody that has a young-looking face, right?
A bit of a demonstration.
I mean, that's a bit like extreme of an example, but yeah, I mean, you kind of get my point.
Also see if we can trick it. Let's see whether it thinks I am under 18. And then you're into like more adult content.
More adult style games.
Yeah, of course, which is exactly what this is for. Joe is 15. Doesn't meet the required age. Talk to me about what just happened.
We took the image, we break it down into pixels. That's analysed against a machine learning model that we've built over with millions of images. It's making sure you're a real person in front of the camera. That you're not a photo, a phone image, a mask, or anything like that, because that would be the immediate thing you might try. I'd go, oh, Dad, I love you. Can I have a picture of you, please? Yeah, okay, fine. So I've just got a selfie of myself. And then if we try and use this to get into the over 18 lobby.
Oh yeah, it's working a bit better. Ah!
The real face.
So what's it done there? How does it know that? Right.
It's looking at the reflection of the light on your face, slight movements, the background, whether it's a real background. That's a. So
this is, I mean, the tech. I mean, nice.
Can we try one of your really good
Yeah, please do. Yep.
Great. Okay. Which one is hardest for
The
us?
hardest one is that one there.
This guy here.
This mask costs £700.
Okay, so this is like you really, really want to watch something.
You really
wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and get into the over 18.
Wow.
I don't understand how it knows that. I look creepy, but I look like a real person.
I mean, even the way the light reflects off the skin is gonna be different than the mask, I imagine.
A creepy real person, but like
That is really weird. That is so uncanny. I really want one of those masks now.
I'm very surprised that it knew that I wasn't. One of people's biggest concerns is about what will happen to their data, and actually what will happen to the images I've used for this specific trial.
You do a selfie and we tell you that we delete the image. Now, you might worry that we might be lying, but we would be out of business contractually with companies or with the regulator if we basically promised to all of those people that we were deleting their image instantly and then were found later not to be doing that.
On the 25th.
I mean, sure.
Will a teenager be able to pretend that they are an adult and get into a website they're not supposed to be getting into?
What we do know is, again, our liveness is tested independently. The very high percentage of people who try to do that will fail.
They'll get most people. They're not going to be like, yeah, we're going to stop 100% of people. And then one person slips through and people are like, oh, you failed. It's like, yeah, we're going to get most of the people and our systems are going to improve over time. Hopefully, they're going to look for more ways to get in. We're going to look for more ways to keep them out. And it's going to be a cat and mouse game, I imagine. Until they get a system, maybe that's just, you have to scan an ID, right? I mean, that's pretty much what it's moving towards.
I have to admit, I am surprised. Before we went in, I was talking to our producer, Francesca, and we were both fairly convinced it would be easy to trick this system. And now I am less convinced. The fact that they had silicone masks and photorealistic... I mean
sure.
As we've been dubbing it between ourselves. And I'm here with two ethical hackers. We're going to see just how quickly these two can bypass those systems.
Yeah, I'm not so much interested in the systems themselves.
Available on the easy access sites where they might find it now, then they will go on to the illegal sites.
How many users are on the dark web?
You can try to estimate them, but what we're seeing already is increases from the United Kingdom going over to the dark web.
In your kind of experiences as an ethical hacker, do you think this ban is going to push more people towards the dark web?
The way the ban is currently instituted, yes, I do.
By 10 a.m. on the day these rules started being enforced, so they'd only been in place for 10 hours, an extra 66,000 people from the UK had started using the dark web. And searches for online tools that would help people bypass verification also rocketed
Well, natural. I mean, this is just, obviously that's going to happen, right?
Those searches happen to coincide with people searching for pornography online. One of the other big criticisms of these new codes is that it doesn't necessarily stop teenagers just sharing harmful content between each other. People have been calling for action like this for years. The consequences of being able to see anything on the internet are very real. Ellen Room's son, Jules, killed himself when he was just 14 years old. It appears he'd been watching harmful content online.
Jules was incredibly smart, funny, but had a very quick wit. He should be 18 on Sunday, and he's not. And that's particularly hard.
She doesn't just want changes to algorithms or age blocks on pornography. She wants the minimum age for all social media users to be raised to 18 years old.
That seems kind of reasonable, but then you have to, again, age verify, right?
16, you've still got...
But that seems reasonable.
Pretty innocent young children watching things they shouldn't see. And we're saying porn sites are 18, yet you can go on social media at 16 and see things like that you shouldn't be seeing. How are those... Where's the similarity in those rules? It's ridiculous.
Children's codes are designed to put young people's safety at the heart of the internet. Ofcom spoke to young people and their families all over the country before they made these rules, but we want to hear it direct from the source.
If you're going into an online space and you're expecting kind of simplicity and everything to be nice and tame, you're kind of going in quite naive because, it's a very, very malicious place in the grand scheme of it because there's that many people on there that it's really hard to filter all of the content.
I don't think banning it as a whole would be a good idea because that also restricts people from being able to have that communication outside of school and stuff.
Some of the young people we spoke to weren't convinced the new rules would actually change anything though.
I think that it will definitely stop some people, but I think if people are that determined...
Yeah, people are just going to go and find it somewhere else. I mean, that's pretty much it.
While celebrating the new rules is realistic.
I am not telling every parent out there that come the end of this week, every single corner of the internet is going to be safe for their kids to be on, or that some content won't slip through. But what I am saying is I am expecting a step change in children's experience that they have online on these platforms. They will notice the difference.
Yeah, age checks will help stop more rules only place for hours. We have to be assessing compliance. So that was Sky News coverage. You could check them out. I don't know. I feel uncomfortable about it to some extent. I do again, the way they're using it seems smart. It's like, yeah, let's cut down on that. But the way it could be abused is freaking scary. And I wanted to get, I guess, with the UK censorship, there's also protests and unrest going on. And there seems to be at least a little bit of overlap between these things. So I found this video and I was like, well, let's give it a listen. From British Launder. First one I've seen from him, but I subbed and boom, drop a like.
We've seen protests up and down the country, some of them absolutely enormous. And to me, it's beautiful. It's beautiful because it's the English people finally recognizing themselves, seeing themselves for who they are, looking left and right, shoulder to shoulder, and seeing that they're not alone. And I think that's really, really powerful. Anyway, you came here to take a look at some protests. So we'll start with one in Manchester, where Paul Golding put on a march for remigration.
Pretty intense. It's interesting how at the same time that the United States is essentially having their issues with immigration, so is the UK. There's a lot of parallels between what I see online in the two places.
To me, that is spectacular, and I just love to see so many English flags in the crowd. Now, I mentioned earlier,
him even saying that is crazy because one of the complaints, in America is that at a lot of protests you're seeing more foreign flags than American flags. And it's kind of like, that feels a little bit weird.
That this was a march for remigration, and some of you may have never heard of this concept before. Maybe you've been living under a rock.
I've been living under a rock.
But the idea is pretty simple. You want more people to leave the country than are entering it. Now
that's an interesting concept because it's like, oh shit, You're not just saying like, okay, guys, woo, let's slow down with bringing people in here. You're like, no. We're not just slowing down. We need to start getting some people out of here. And it's like, oh, okay.
Consent to mass immigration, and now we want to see that reversed. We're not happy for mass.
Now, granted, you could say that's the same thing that Trump's doing, so it's not really like that crazy of a thing. They just put a name to it. And I'm like, okay.
Immigration to just stop, which it still hasn't. We want it to be reversed. Okay, that's the broad concept. I also
although the difference being is like one's illegal, and I don't know if they deal with an illegal immigration problem or if it's just legal immigration, because legal immigration will be completely different, right? Being like, oh no, we're gonna send them back. Well, it's like, well, they legally came here, so that's different, right? So I'm not sure of the nuances there.
That this was set up by Paul Golding on behalf of Britain First, and in the past I've said that I don't really see Britain First as a political party, even though technically they are. And I think I stand by that statement. I said in a previous video that I see them more as a street protest movement, and I think that's still true, right? Maybe in the future that will change and I will change my opinion about that. But look, that is one hell of a street protest that they've put on. In fact, let's take a look at another angle of it. But it wasn't just Manchester. Yesterday in Islington, outside the Barbican Thistle Hotel, there was a protest. Why? Well, because 41 of the migrants staying in that hotel have been charged with...
More than 90 criminal charges are brought against 41 migrants living in one taxpayer-funded hotel. Court records show migrants staying at the Thistle City Barbican in central London have been accused of offenses including SA, arson, theft, burglary, carrying knives. Are you not allowed to carry a knife? Or, alright, assault and other offenses over the past 3 years.
90 criminal offenses. And unsurprisingly, the locals aren't too happy about it.
It's like 3 a month, right? If it was over the course of 3 years.
I know, I've always got my thingy up.
Stop the what?
I've always got my thingy up.
Oh, boats.
Unfortunately, they weren't actually able to protest where they were meant to because a horde of masked up Antifa guys showed up and blocked the route. Weirdly, they seem to be shouting some non-English phrase that I just can't understand. Anyway, they were later seen waving and cheering at the migrants in the hotel who were filming them back using their iPhones. Yeah.
Yo. Oh my gosh.
iPhones that we paid for.
Yeah, you think they want to abuse it? Are you talking about, if you're talking about abusing the system of checks? I mean, possibly. I mean, if it's there, it can be, right? So.
There is some good news though, because for a brief moment, the police did some policing. I'm pretty sure they even made some arrests whilst they were there.
Can you move back, please?
I'm curious what the breakup is. Like, is this like a 50-50 issue? Is this like a 70-30 issue?
This is now happening up and down the country every day. Local communities have just had enough. But I guarantee that the government has no idea why this is happening. They're just scratching their heads, wondering, why are people so upset? Well, if you step away from your worldview for just 1 minute and look at how perverse the governance in this country has been for the last 50 years, look at how people have voted, how many times they've told you they want lower migration, only for you to betray them every single time. Okay, so that's why this is happening. People have had enough. But of course, people in the civil service, people in the government, they just can't see this. They just don't seem to understand it. And so they press on. In fact, 2 days ago at the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf at 1:30 in the morning, under the cover of darkness, very sneaky, they bust a load of migrants in.
It is a little crazy if, you know, you have a lot of unrest over this and you're still kind of maybe like bringing people in. You think you'd kind of halt it or slow it down a little bit, maybe. Now, of course, you probably have a queue of people, so it's not so easy. You probably already told people like, hey, we got this ride for you, we got this place. So to slow it down or halt it, you would have to tell people like, hey, sorry about that. I know we promised you it, but people are kind of getting riled up over here. And also, like, I've seen some, I was looking for what issues it's causing, because realistically, people must be pointing to some sort of issues. I don't know if it's jobs or what. And I've heard of some things that I'm like, oh, yikes, even not covering that stuff on YouTube seems like it's going to be kind of dodgy, but...
Hoping, of course, that nobody would see it. But someone did see it.
The time is 1:33, the 1st of August.
And guess what? Just one day later, they were already trying to leave the hotel on their delivery bikes to work illegally. Fortunately, a couple of patriots stopped them.
Tell me this, look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Yeah, tell me these ain't...
Wait, are they not supposed to leave? See, I'm not sure about this. Or are they just not supposed to be working, is the idea.
Delivery drivers. Tell me these ain't delivery drivers, guys. Oh, shit. There we go. Georgina, I'm modding you. Georgina, message something quickly so I can see your name again.
Shut up. It won't surprise you then to know that there are fresh protests outside that hotel today.
We are not far right, but we're not far wrong. Don't gamble with our lives. Stop the boats.
Look, I think you get the picture. This is happening all over the country, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. People are...
I'll be keeping an eye on this. I'm really curious, because I've just been seeing so much stuff coming from over there.
Angry. And quite frankly, it's not that surprising. The government has placed people into these communities, in these hotels, despite having access to the statistics which show them that it will put those communities in danger. And yet they did it anyway. Remember, the first duty of government is to protect its citizens. These people that they're putting in hotels, not citizens. The people that they're endangering, citizens. So our government has failed in its basic first duty. There's no other way of putting it. There's no other way around it. That's it. And
if there's any Brits in chat opposed or for this, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I'm like curious here. Yeah.
As Douglas Carswell says, they're going to realize at some point that they cannot contain this for much longer. Anyway, that's just a short video covering these protests. And I felt like I really had to do it because while some of you will see this on social media and you'll be more clued up about what's going on up and down the country, you know, the BBC aren't going to talk about this. Sky News aren't going to talk about this unless it turns violent, and then they'll just make it all about far-right protests and riots. Okay, that's all they'll discuss. The peaceful protest...
We just got done watching Sky News.
...won't make it to the mainstream media's attention. So that's why we do it here. There's one other thing I want to say. I refer to myself as English a lot, not British, which is ironic, I know, because my name is British Lander. And I don't want people who are Welsh or Scottish or Ulsterman to take some kind of offence from that. It's just that I'm starting to reject the idea of British. Not that I reject the Welsh, the Scottish and the Northern Irish, far from it. But British nowadays just seems to mean anybody in the world who is, you know, waiting for a passport, right? It's just ridiculous. We've got British Indians, British Pakistanis, British Nigerians, British everything. But the one thing that cannot be taken away from me, that is entirely unique, that cannot be granted with a passport, is my Englishness. You're either English or you're not. So Rishi Sunak, I don't hate Rishi Sunak, okay? I don't think he was a great Prime Minister, but let's be honest, he was passed a bit of a hospital pass by Boris Johnson. But Rishi Sunak, he's not English. He's an anglicised Indian. He's a British Indian, but he's not English, okay? I am English, and that can't be taken away from me. So if someone comes to me and says, you know, I see myself as Scottish, not British, really, I'm completely okay with that. I don't take any offence from that. But the other thing I'll say is the English identity, more than Welsh or Scottish or Northern Irish, has been stripped away from us and dumbed down in a way that I don't think the other parts of the kingdom.
I mean, it's interesting because, you know, again, I'm not from there. I'm from the United States. So getting just his perspective, I need to like find other perspectives too. But I don't know like the whole breakdown and how people kind of see themselves over there. So it is interesting to think about with his whole thing. Like, I'm not British, I'm English and all that. It's just something to think about. I don't know.
You know, we've been told that our flag is inherently bad and racist and we should be ashamed.
And there's just a lot of parallels to what's going on in the United States in culture and pop culture and whatnot.
Ashamed of it and things like that. And it's just ridiculous. I am starting to see some good things coming out of the country. Apparently one English guy in Birmingham was told to take down his St. George's flag, his English flag, and then he bought 100 more and plastered them all over.
It's just crazy because this is like the same thing that's going on with sorry. With this.
Genes campaign as a
offspring.
This is what the fuss is about.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney, Casper Keen.
Like that all the controversy that's going on over that right now is so similar, I think, to what he's kind of talking about, maybe from the context of like the British, I would say.
Over the city. So I love that. And apparently people are painting roundabouts with the English flag. It's great. I really
Rando on which you show the files.
Love to see that. So when I refer to myself as English, I'm not doing that to offend the Scottish or the Welsh or the Northern Irish. It's just that I am English, okay? I'm very, very proud of that, and nobody can take that away from me or misuse the term, although they will try sometimes, but nobody can remove that quality from me in the same way they can't take away your actual Scottishness or your Welshness or your Northern Irishness, your Ulstermanness, okay? I just want to make that clear. I don't want to offend anybody. Anyway, please do leave a like, comment, subscribe if you...
Yeah, dude, check out this guy's channel. I just subscribed. I recently found him. I think Asmongold was watching a video from him, so I just jumped over and just checked out his channel. So I want to get more like, if you guys know any like, you know, UK, I guess, creators and stuff that are decent, you could always like let me know or drop them in the Discord or whatever. But definitely check him out. I subscribed. I'll be probably checking out other stuff from him and whatnot. I'm really curious to keep up with this. So drop the like on the video. That is British Lander, I believe. But flipping back over to BAM. Again, I think a lot of these things weave together. We're doing the weave, guys. Tim Pool, if you guys haven't seen, or Timcast, has his own like news channel and everything. He's great. I watch people from all sorts of just different backgrounds, so I like to get like everybody from everywhere. Everybody has their spins and their biases and all that stuff. You know, we try to keep it, well, chat has a lot of biases, honestly. Like, you know, some moderators are righties, some are lefties, some are commies, some are this, some are that. But, you know, we have a mitigated chaos, an organized chaos, if you will. But I like to watch things from everywhere. So check him out. We're going to watch his take here on Spotify threatens to ban users who don't pass new ID checks. Again, threads in. Oh, shit. Let me move him over so you can actually see his face. What am I doing?
Threat that no one is talking about, or at least many people are, but it's not picking up enough steam, is that there is a massive wave of censorship unfolding across the internet. On top of this, ID requirements, which are masquerading as protection for kids, but are in fact not. Example, Spotify. So the UK passes this law saying you can't look at explicit content without evidence you're above 18. Basically, look, it makes sense, right? We all sit there and agree. I don't want kids looking at nasty content, but there's something more nefarious about this. The first thing they do is they attack your delicate sensibilities. Yeah, we don't want kids looking at this stuff. Once you agree to it, the law actually hits everyone. And then all of a sudden, you can't listen to music without turning over an ID.
Damn it. My hotkeys. I don't know how long I've been muted. But yo, G51, are those people I need to look up? I'm gonna copy paste what you just sent me. Ooh, I really hope I wasn't. I don't even know how long I was muted. That is so embarrassing. I do this all the time.
Some responsibility on the part of, say, X and all these other social media platforms for allowing adult content, right? They should censor it. If you want to view it, you got to verify your age somehow. Here's the issue. My argument is that if you're walking down the street, you go to an adult bookstore, they say, show me your ID. You go to a bar, show me your ID. You go to the movies, show me your ID. The guy looks at it and says, you're good. The bartender glances at it, you're good.
Basically, they're not logging it. It's not going into a server to sit for eternity.
They don't keep your information. They don't keep your address. But when you want to work online, they want a permanent record of your facial scan and your ID. Why?
Guys, if I could watch V for Vendetta on stream, I don't know why, so much stuff reminds me of that. Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. I found a way to watch movies, but it's only on Twitch. And I don't think V for Vendetta is in the list.
Why is that a problem? They're going to collect your
I haven't seen that movie in a while.
They're going to store your data, exposing you to potential risk from hackers or accidents on their part. Worse still, they're going to spam blast you. Think about what happens when one person, one company, you get your email out there, and now your email is loaded with garbage.
Right.
It's going to be a privacy invasion and spam blast nightmare for the average person. Not to mention the real risk that your information could be exposed. This is the game they want to play. They're trying to get rid of bots. They're trying to control the flow of information. And I'm not completely opposed to the concept.
Right.
It's not just about protecting kids. We've got
the protecting kids thing and the bots thing. Those are two pretty good arguments for it, but the implications on the other side are just, they're really heavy.
Anonymous, foreign infiltrator, operator, whatever. They work across the board in many different countries. Don't believe me? Does it offend your modern sensibilities? Well, I'll give you a few examples. If you're a conservative, you're like, the Russian narrative is tired. It's not even Russia. Liberals do it. Prominent Democrats have been accused for a long time now of using these organizations that create fake accounts on social media so they can manipulate opinion.
But I assume that's going on. Dead internet theory. I assume that a bunch of organizations, countries, governments, whatever, businesses and stuff are doing that. Influencing with bot farms as many people as they can.
Don't care for that. Israel, Palestine, Hamas, Pakistan, every country does it. The U.S. started it, but every country does it. Now there's this effort to control the narrative. They want to make sure these corporate powers and the U.S. government, as well as the UK, the Five Eyes Spy Club, it's one big family tree, son. They want to make sure that they control the flow of information. So if there are foreign actors going online, you want to know where this comes from? Let's roll, baby. You ready for this?
Where are we going?
From 404.
UK users need to post selfie or photo ID to view Reddit's r/Israel crimes, r/Ukraine war footage. So is it just those Reddits? Yo, this is, guys, it's all happening at once too. And it's gonna be, watch it be across the board. It's not gonna be just one country. They're gonna try to hit it across the board.
UK users need to post selfie or photo ID to view Reddit's Israel crimes and Ukraine war footage. That's right. Because this war footage is graphic, they can't let you look at it now. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say pro-Israel, anti-Israel. I don't care. I'll tell you, there are people who care more about Israel than anything else. I am going to tell you that it's insane that one of the components driving this narrative has long been criticism of Israel. It's a fact. You take a look at the...
I don't know. I guess I'm not tapped in. I I mean, you hear some stuff online and all that stuff, but I'm not like super tapped into that side of it. I haven't really connected it to that too much. I think you could just take it on its own, right? Without adding any bullshit to it.
The TikTok ban. What was that all about? Well, TikTok was allowing Israel critical content to flourish and the U.S. couldn't control.
I have never heard this one. I've never heard this take. I thought the TikTok ban was that it was a Chinese app.
Well, TikTok was allowing Israel critical content to flourish and the U.S. couldn't control it. The gameplay here, and they're probably going to put censorship on this video. Share this video because this matters. You're going to wake up one day and they're going to...
Yeah, I figured putting censorship in the title of my stream probably does not help with my stream like discoverability or whatever.
Ask you to log into your website and they're going to say, give us a photo of your ID. And you're going to say, why do I have to do this? Guess what? X does it already. This is the game plan. Now, let's talk about the functionality here. I don't mind. I don't mind proving real people. But you know what? X has got the verification option you don't have to opt into. A lot of people have complained because it's like, yeah, well, they'll reduce your visibility. But it's for people who want it. Now, therein lies the challenge, right? You'll make the argument that, Tim, if they implement this ID check and everyone chooses to opt in, you can vote your way into communism, but you can't vote your way out. The saying goes a little different, if you know what I mean. Fair point. But there is still a freedom of choice issue. I personally don't want to interact with fake accounts that are just spam blasting me all day.
It seems like he's kind of defending it. He's kind of defending it a bit. I don't know. I do agree. Like, I agree. And what scares me too is, let's just say we implement this. We don't really have to worry about bot accounts. You could basically see what account's a bot, what account's a human, very, very clearly. How long does it take until some company comes up and they're like, okay, let's make a bunch of fake human accounts, right? Because it's like, that's the next step, right? It's always like the sword and the shield or like whatever, like back and forth, red and blue. So it's just like you're going to create another problem, or you're going to solve a problem, which will eventually just be recreated in another form. But at the same time, possibly lose liberties, or at least expose yourself to more lines of attack with, your information being out there to be leaked, or, what have you, or traced back to you if the government did go tyrannical and, ABC. So
I'd rather say direct people I know are real people. At the same time, I have concerns that once they get this Trojan horse.
Okay, so never mind. Yeah, no. He's still on the Trojan horse thing. Okay, so he still has the concerns. Okay, very good.
It's not about IDs for age verification and for porn. It is about requiring you give up your personal information for everything you do.
Exactly.
They will track where you are. They will track where you go.
I mean, they already do.
Social credit score 101. I was talking about this the other day. Social credit scores are already here. They're making...
people in chat were mentioning that the other day. Let's get into it. I don't think they're here. I mean, I haven't seen social credit scores in the same way that they talk about them.
Apps to track a permanent workplace score. It's this Gauge app. It's multifaceted. Now, maybe there's no big conspiracy, but the ball is rolling down the hill.
Interesting.
Once you get ID tracking on every site, think about what the machine can do at this point. No
Right.
more burner phones, no more access to the grid. And then, the other day...
Unless you make another network.
You created the Proud Boys. Says it was a joke drinking club, and it largely still is a joke. But the media said it was terrorists. Where's he now? He can't use any payment processor. He can't put his name on businesses. He can't buy property. And he gets these people saying, man, I don't know who you pissed off, but they have banned you from all of these platforms.
Jeez.
That's what happens when they have control of all of your information. You go back to the Wild West, my friends. And you're persona non grata in your town, so you leave. You're exiled. You can still find a second chance. Not everybody has committed a hell-worthy trespass. Sometimes it could be personal moral thing, like infidelity with your wife, and then your business failed, and people were like, you're a scumbag, get out of here. These days, we are inching closer towards, well, look, you...
Yeah, Paulie, it's pretty crazy. It's happening, right? It's just so quickly, right? All of the platforms just, boom, start doing it. And realistically, once they get, let's say, the UK to fall in line, or really any country to kind of fall in line, well, now you have a test case. And you're like, well, we got all those people to do it. So in theory, you can get really anybody to do it. So I don't know. It's kind of freaky. It seems like an inevitability and not much workaround around it. Just maybe make sure there's protections, like consumer protections around just our information. As long as, I mean, the best you could do is build that in, I guess, to the best of your abilities.
You were overheard saying a naughty word online, or a word we deemed to be naughty after the fact.
Which is also scary, yeah, because you could retroactively be fucked.
You know who you are. We know where you are. Sorry, you can't board this bus. What was that? You're trying to buy groceries?
He's taking it to the extreme, but it's, I mean, that, he's the 1984, like, you know, what have you, or Black Mirror, like, you know, what have you. But this is like the steps towards it, right? So it is a bit freaky.
No, you've been banned from the grocery store for saying naughty words. We may have won in the cultural issues pertaining to weird woke garbage. Gamergate was, what are we looking at, 13 years ago? And so a lot of people are saying, look at the Sydney Sweeney ad, man.
Yeah, we're going to cover that. We're coming around to that one. Guy, oh my gosh, it's just, and the way that kind of weaves in, like I said earlier, to the UK situation and what that gentleman was talking about, Mr. British Launder. I hope I'm saying that right. It's just interesting to me.
Look at the Sydney Sweeney.
Polly, where are you? That gas price. Wait, no, he's not. Washington State is raising housing insurance $400 a month. Gas price $5. Damn, I think gas is around $2.99 where I'm at.
Yeah, they're now on our. We won Bud Light effect, and you're not wrong. But I fear
Xbox players in the UK must verify their age to keep access to social features.
They're mounting up an alternate strike.
Oh, 244. Hey.
Recoils backwards. They say, okay, you're right. Have your ads. They go for the infrastructure. You got to get your ID. You got to get your face scan. Then what happens? Look at the payment processors banning video games right now. This is.
We need to go down that. I've only seen that on my feed a bit. I have yet to go down this rabbit hole
of where this new battle or the ongoing battle is going to begin. We've been talking about, have we won the culture war? This is what people need to understand. What's going on now is that this payment processor, they've banned Gavin McInnes, right? They said, you can't work with us, you can't shop with us, and they control all payments. Maybe you can go for a Bitcoin. People have tried.
We listen to everybody here, man. But hey, if you want to recommend somebody, recommend them. I try to listen to like a whole bunch of different sides on a whole bunch of different things, right?
When everything you do online will require a face scan and an ID. Well, if the payment processors say, nah, you're a naughty, naughty man, we won't let you on the platform. That's it. We are moving towards the social credit score system inch by inch every day. And while we may have tremendous victories related to the political space, this is what they want you to talk about. And by that, I mean corporations, powerful corporate interests, fascistic and authoritarian interests. My ultimate concern is this. I'll tell you. This video is not going to get play. I did a video yesterday.
He's sitting at 79,000 for 3 days. I mean, let me see. 205,000 in 1 day. 155 and 2, 170 and 2, 79 and 3. 142, 90. He's kind of right, actually. Every other video, well, this one got 61. YouTube to be banned despite. I can see why that one might get less. I'm looking for like less than, like kind of like less than 100,000. Well, these are going back more and more days, but even the stuff he's posted after this video has pulled like double, at least double what this video has pulled. So that is interesting, considering all his videos. I mean, this one's 97K. In 4 days. Huh. How new is this one that we're watching? 3 days old. That's kind of crazy.
Talking about age verification failing because people were using Norman Reedus. Suppressed. YouTube won't put it up. YouTube makes sure it doesn't appear on the front page. They make sure nobody gets recommended the video. It gets some views because there are people who watch no matter what. They're
right, yeah. You might hate him and stuff. What he's speaking to right now is a real thing, you know, but it's like you don't know, like, you know, who they're showing it to and how many they're showing it to. But I mean, even us just going through his channel and stuff right there, I mean, it's not conclusive or anything, but it does kind of seem like, this video is getting less play for some reason. There could be there's a lot of factors, right? But what he's speaking to is a possibility.
YouTube, make sure it doesn't appear on the front page. They make sure nobody gets recommended the video. It gets some views because there are people who watch no matter what. They're here to watch my content. That's when you know you've struck a nerve. When they don't let you share it. I made a video before this yesterday. YouTube's going to be banned for under 16s in Australia.
That was the other video we just saw too, actually. That was the other one I said, okay, this one doesn't have like that much, but it could make sense why this one would be suppressed out of all the other ones. So it's funny that he points that out as well. I mean,
YouTube says no way. Once again, on average, my videos get, 100, 200K. These are getting 50. That doesn't make sense. These are huge stories. I take a look at the analytics. I'm not paranoid. And it shows me right there, recommendations are down. YouTube is deciding not to show this to people. And a large portion of all the views we get, probably 40, 50%, comes from the video appearing on the front page and YouTube saying, maybe you'll like this.
Right.
But when you've got a big story like this,
and then it gets suppressed,
people begin to notice the censorship war is on. And then YouTube's like, nah, don't recommend that one.
Right.
Well, that doesn't make sense. This is the conversation right now. This is the concern regular people.
And I do feel like it doesn't get talked about that much. Like I'm seeing it, but it's not like it's trending or anything along those lines. It feels like it would be a bigger conversation to talk about right now.
People have. Take a look at this from Dixerto. Xbox players in the UK must verify their age to keep access to social features. Indeed. The game plan is before us. Woke retreats because they realized they've been hurt badly and regular people are going to vote for Donald Trump. What do they do next? They say, let's implement tech infrastructure. I guarantee you then they're going to bring all this woke garbage back. They're going to bring back all the PC stuff, but now your ID is locked in the system. So when
maybe I'm not really worried about them bringing back this, that, and the third. I think they've probably learned how to move, even with like all of these tools in place. They probably don't want to be completely stupid about it, right? But I'm more worried about the tools being in place and what he's about to probably explain, rather than the other stuff. Because it could be anything they implement that could be bad that you want to speak out against, but you feel like you can't speak out against it because you feel like they're going to come for you and they have all of your information. So no matter like what it is, it's a problem.
When you get banned from one platform, they ban you from the grocery store. I don't know exactly how this plays out, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to say it like this. They have waged a culture war against us, liberty, freedom, and our right to choose for a long time. We think we've won because they lost money. But if you were an unrelenting force, an ideological force, would you just give up? I've asked this question as it pertains to the left and the right in this country. Do you think that they're just going to give up? Okay. I'm going to put it this way.
It's a constant push. But check out his stuff if you like it. Some people don't like him. Some people like him. I watch things from like a bunch of different places. I think you should probably watch people that are right wing, people that are middle, people that are left. You should probably try to get a little bit of everything just to kind of get, a decent take, right? But anyway, Timcast, that was a good video. And again, that just ropes in everything we're talking about. And to continue the conversation, back to this Piers Morgan conversation. Piers Morgan, right? Piers Morgan Uncensored, TV show host. I think it's a TV show. And brings people together to rip each other's heads off. Pretty good stuff. But yeah, talking about the Sydney Sweeney ad. And again, this kind of ropes into everything because I'm not going to say this is like anti-DEI because, again, I don't like the idea that this has to stand against other people, like minorities or something. I like the idea that this is probably just an ad. It might appeal to some people, but it doesn't need to necessarily put down another group. However, other people are making it about, oh my gosh, this ad is eugenics. This ad is erasing people and, I don't know, racism. And I'm just like, I don't really know about that. It seems like they were playing on a pun. I don't really think it was meant to be this giant dog whistle, but
personality and even eye color. My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keens. Sydney Sweeney has very Keynes.
I mean, is it just gonna keep playing all the ads? Okay.
Well, half of the advert's viewers see a cheeky ad with an attractive actress flogging jeans. The other half apparently see a subliminal propaganda campaign for eugenics, fascism and white supremacy with a dash of Nazis thrown in for the mix.
Those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird, like fascist weird.
Did American Eagle just run an ad for eugenics?
The attractive white woman with blonde hair, blue eyes is talking about just the jeans she gets from American Eagle.
The issue with that kind of concept is, are you saying that nobody should talk about their genes? Or are you saying that like one group of people in particular aren't allowed to talk about their genes? But also, it's like a pun. And then the jeans part, I don't know if it's the blue eyes, blonde hair that everybody was focusing on. I mean, there were parts where like the camera zooms in on her like ass. There's parts where they zoom in on her tits. Like, I don't understand why so many people are focused on the color of her damn skin. I'm like, dude, like they're obviously like sexualizing her, and like jeans is kind of like, I feel like playing into that as well. I don't know, like you think some company that wants to make money is just coming out and be like, hey guys, we're racist, eugenics. And it's possible, but it just doesn't seem like that's a good way to make money unless you just think that everybody's racist. I don't know.
Blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman and think that is an all-American woman. That is the exact problem with this advertisement.
Hey, American Eagle, now do black and brown women.
Hey, you want to go to American Eagle?
And that would be the funniest thing is I could see them doing that in like the next, with whatever the next ad campaign is, because why not? And they could literally just have a black person go up there and be like, hey, I've got good genes. And it's the same exact thing. And then there wouldn't be a problem. Or would there be a problem? Because there shouldn't be a problem. Well, if you're mad about it, then there should be a problem. But realistically, there shouldn't be a problem. It should be able to just go up there and say that. Oh. And I only say that because even in the ad, in one of the ads, she says, I'm not going to say my genes are the best, or they make my butt look good, or something like that. And what it almost sounds like it is implying to me is like they're gearing up for the pun, right? Because you're not trying to put down other genes. You're not trying to say other people not other people, but if you're using the whole genes idea, right? That other people are worse. It's just like, these are my genes. So I almost feel like this was like more calculated and they put that in there on purpose.
I can't go in there because I'm black. I think we should just start.
Jim, I know we've gone through so many issues. We've gone through the Epstein, we've gone through the censorship, we've gone through the UK protests. Now we're on this. It all kind of connects together, man. It all connects together in the giant politic world, culture war. And just, you can't be on 10 the whole time. We can't be mad and angry and just like, oh my God, the world's falling apart like the whole time. That's how you die, right? That's how you have like a heart attack. You get stressed out, your hair starts falling out or whatever. So we kind of have to ebb and flow here a little bit, right? So the genes thing might not be the end of the world, right? It's not the biggest deal. However, it is something happening, and it's sort of like a, you know what I'm saying? It's down here right now.
Them instead. You are an embarrassment, Sydney Sweeney.
It's not just excitable people on social media who are losing their minds on this one. Even Good Morning America is wondering whether Sydney's great genes may herald the onset of a new Fourth Reich.
We begin with the backlash over.
What's so funny is I laugh, but it's like, imagine if it did. Imagine if the world just goes to shit and goes exactly in that direction, worst case scenario. They'd be like, well, damn, I guess I was wrong there. But it does seem a little bit ridiculous.
New ad campaign featuring actress Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, the ads are for American Eagle, and the tagline is, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Now, in one ad, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress talks about genes as in DNA being passed down from her parents.
The play on words is being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial undertones.
So is Sydney Sweeney the new poster girl for white supremacy, or is it all, as one commentator put it, just ugly girl jealousy? Well, turning to my panel now, I'm away from my...
And again, I think American Eagle came out, they're like, we're not apologizing. Don't think they should. But all they have to do is come out again and make an ad with anybody else and make the same ad and it'll be fine. So they might be waiting on that. They want to probably let this simmer for a bit, get as much kind of juice out of it as they can. And then once people stop talking about it, then bring out that ad, which will do well will also do well because now people can laugh at the other people. I don't know. They're very good at marketing. Very good at marketing.
usual studio, working on a slight delay. So I'll begin with a polite request for everyone to take it in turns and allow the audience to enjoy all of your insights. I'm joined by Jedediah Bila, the host of the Jedediah Bila Show, by the conservative influencer Deborah Lee, academic and host of Bet News, Mark Lamont Hill, and the author of Cultural Intelligence for Marketers, Dr. Anastasia Gabriel. Well, welcome to all of you. Okay, let me start with you, Dr. Anastasia. What's your problem with this ad? I mean, I just saw Sydney Sweeney looking hot, selling jeans. What memo didn't I get?
I would love to live in a world where more people would have the privilege to look at this ad and simply see an ad for great jeans, but that's not the world that we live in. And we live in the world that is marked with a lot of cultural baggage. So when I saw this ad as a marketer, as somebody who works with agencies and brands on issues of culture and cultural relevance, I was frankly angered. And the reason for that is that the ad is racist and eugenics coded. And I have to be clear that when I say that, I don't mean to talk about the intent of the creators behind this ad, but rather the impact that it has on audiences, and particularly on younger audiences.
I keep muting myself, jeez.
And here we need to remember that the target audience of American Eagle is the most racially and ethnically diverse consumer group in the history.
I feel like when you're saying something is bigoted or racist, I feel like intent matters quite a bit, right? Wouldn't it matter quite a bit? Because if their intent wasn't to be that way, okay, so it's like, okay, it's not purposeful racism, but it's almost like you can't talk about some things, otherwise it's an accidental racism, even if you don't mean it in that way whatsoever. It's just like, well, that's kind of weird.
History of the United States. And somebody who has spent a lot of time studying semiotics and the way that meaning is encoded in various forms of media and cultural artifacts, it becomes very clear to me that when we take apart this particular ad campaign, it marries certain concepts and certain words that carry cultural baggage for people. And if that wasn't enough, we can go back.
We talk about the word jeans. I mean, it just so happens that the word jeans we also use for jeans that like that we wear. I mean, it just so happens that these words are like homonyms or whatever.
And look to the source material for this particular campaign, which is a Calvin Klein ad from 1980 that uses...
Okay, see, it's like I could have followed her argument in the beginning, because it's like, yeah, I could see what you're saying. You could draw these connections and find these problems, I'm sure. Like, obviously people did. But now you're saying it's the same as this other ad, which we think was bad for other reasons. And it's like, well, that has nothing to do with it. Because if aesthetically they were just going for the same aesthetics, but they took out the reason that it was bad, then what's your point?
The same kind of rhetoric of, and even more so rather dramatically, natural selection, survival of the fittest, selective mating, the superiority of
what's going on, Dennis? What's going on, Not Laws?
And from a perspective of media and cultural studies, when we look at this particular campaign, we can see how meaning travels from the source of inspiration to this particular narrative structure that we see in this ad. And so it is no surprise to me that it was picked up by audiences that reacted in the way that they did. And research shows, even though obviously Gen Z are in themselves a diverse group, they're also generally, on average, more progressive leaning and, of course, chronically online.
Crazy? You mean crazy?
Anastasia,
I mean,
Anastasia, we haven't had you. We haven't had you
Appreciate
on.
You, Leonard.
We haven't had you on our censor before. I didn't really understand a word of what you just said. Are you this much fun at parties, or do you have a different persona?
Yo, he's wild. Yo, he's crazy. He just comes out swinging on that. That is so funny. Oh my gosh, he could have been a little bit chiller coming out at least, but he's like, oh, it's my first time having you on the show. Bam.
To me, it's a pleasure to join you today.
Do you have a different persona?
I would love
there?
it if you weren't disrespectful to me. It's a pleasure to join you today, and I look forward to...
Bam, she just handed it back. I mean, she didn't really hand it back. It wasn't really like a tit for tat, but she's just kind of standing her ground. You know, respect.
Any points that you might have found confusing?
Anastasia, you would have to be asked...
Deborah Lee. Let me bring Deborah Lee in. This is a terrible example of racist white supremacy, etc. I sort of lost my thread halfway through it, but But this is apparently the worst ad ever seen. I mean, this is the Nazis reborn.
Oh my God, he's so hyperbolic.
That is just crazy to me. And for people to have this reaction to this ad, when I first saw this ad, this is giving a Super Bowl, okay? This is shot very well. This is very creative for an ad agency. I don't know where that information is coming from, that they're the most diverse group and their clientele is the most diverse in the entire world, the entire country. But if that were the case, then this would be a great ad to appeal to a new base. Heterosexual, straight men who see a hot woman and they think, wow, that's great. I want to support this company.
It's funny. You can kind of spin it each way, right?
It's a brunette. She has brown hair. So everybody's saying she's an Aryan, blonde hair, blue eyes. It's not true. Look at her roots. Look at her eyebrows. It takes 5 seconds to do a Google search of Sydney Sweeney's natural hair color.
I did not do the 5-second Google search of her hair color. I mean, guys, like I said, you know, or like somebody else said in chat, it's not the most important issue in the world, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I've not done deep research into this.
While I have my own opinions about this ad, I don't really have the palate for sexual ads as a traditional conservative. I think if you have an issue with this and you're saying that this is a Nazi dog whistle, as a Jewish woman, when the Nazis created ads in their propaganda, it was not using hot women who are traditionally hot to try and attract people to become Nazis. It was saying that the Jews are vermin, that we're trying to take over the world. To try and compare the two is outrageous because the left will call everything Nazism and say everybody's a Nazi, except for the actual Nazis chanting from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free, reiterating the same talking points that we've seen.
A little crazy. Hunter Biden laptop. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, right? That one was crazy. That was a crazy arc that really I feel like got swept under the rug as well. What's going on, Petro?
Since World War II. So
and Sandy, appreciate y'all for coming by.
I just really don't understand where any of this information or reaction is coming from. People have way too much time on their hands. Get a job, get a life. Stop being triggered by thin
Touch grass, guys. Where we at live for 12 more hours. No, I'm just playing.
Hot women. Just let it be. Enjoy. You guys had Lizzo in an ad when she was 400 pounds modeling for Calvin Klein jeans. She's since lost weight because she even realized that being that size is not healthy for any individual.
Yeah, I was watching this video the other day. I didn't watch it on stream. But apparently a bunch of fat influencers are dying at like the age of 28 pretty much. Like 20, 28, or not 20, but like 28, 24, I think 37. And it's all generally seems to be around heart failure and whatnot. And it's just like, woof.
It's clearly just targeted towards happy, straight, white women. They don't want to have these people in ads. We've had every single TV show, every single advertisement has somebody who's been put in simply for being gay in the last couple of years.
This is true. Like, let's be honest. This is true. It's kind of hard not to notice. Because, again, if you think about representation, it's like there's no issue with having, like, everybody in the movie. I don't care. But it is weird when you feel like something is forced. It's just like, okay, that's a bit odd. And then also when you start like counting, right, and you're thinking to yourself, well, okay, if there's this many people in the population, right, then how many of these people should be in the movie on average? And then you start like running the numbers. You're like, wait a second. It seems like they're putting a lot of people in here. It's almost disproportionate now. It's almost like the opposite issue of what they had before. But anyway, it's just kind of silly to me. I don't think you should really be doing a head count on, okay, we've got a white guy, we've got a black guy, we've got a white girl, we've got a black girl, we've got a gay guy, we've got a person in a wheelchair, I don't think that's necessarily how you should put a story together. I mean, I don't know. Write your story how you will, but it's just a weird thing to consider like all the time. So
it's the only reason that they've been put into the storyline. And so now we just have what we would deem normal, and the left is trying to brand this as abnormal. It's not taking, and the people that are trying to push this is the reason that the Democratic Party is continuing to fail in popularity.
One thing that I've in common with theft / American Eagle ad, which was
bam, check out again Piers Morgan. If you guys haven't, that's who we're watching. You guys have probably seen him. Pretty big dude. Been at it a long time. But Piers Morgan Uncensored. After this, I need to get a drink. My lips are dying. Actually, I got a drink right here. What am I talking about?
In the middle of the whole Me Too campaign and stuff.
Whoa!
Do you have any problem with the lady on the left there?
Do I have a problem with her? No, I don't have a problem.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, we're ebbing and flowing sick to death. You know, we've covered, some heavier stuff or scary stuff as well with the censorship and everything. And I think this plays into it. I think it all comes together, okay, at the end. Or in the end.
I don't have a
problem. But welcome. Thank you.
By that image.
I'm not
fascinating.
No.
I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm talking.
No, I don't have a problem with her.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem
You're
with
not offended by that image.
I'm not.
Fascinating.
No.
You do have a problem with the woman on the right.
No. Hold on. Two things. One, you specifically said let's not interrupt each other, and I haven't been able to articulate one sentence yet, and I've been interrupted twice. So let's follow your own rules.
No, I want to.
I'm not offended by the woman on the left.
No, they cannot. We're watching a Piers Morgan video. You could go check out his video on his channel or on the Piers Morgan Uncensored channel. The only one that can see the chat is myself and the other people in chat.
Let me complete the sentence. I am not offended by the woman on the left, nor
not while I'm drinking. I did not anticipate that.
Am I offended by the woman on the right? The aha that you're going for isn't there because I'm saying I am not offended by either woman. What I am, please, I'm asking respectfully, allow me to finish a thought. Two people have spoken uninterrupted for 3 minutes. I'm asking there because I'm woman on the left.
Yo, Piers, just be winding him up, I swear.
Nor am I offended by the woman on the right. The aha that you're going for isn't there because I'm saying I am not offended by either woman. What I am, please, I'm asking respectfully, allow me to finish a thought. Two people have spoken uninterrupted.
I feel like he was about to say, allow me to finish a fucking sentence.
For 3 minutes, I haven't gotten 10 seconds out. What I'm saying is, finish a thought. Two people have spoken uninterrupted for 3 minutes. I haven't gotten 10 seconds out. What I'm saying is that the problem is not either woman. The problem is how we're narrating the commercial. That's what people are concerned about. Several things have been said that I'd like to respond to in direct response to what you're asking me, Piers. The first thing, and I'm glad the last woman who spoke mentioned that she's Jewish because I think that's really important. Historically, there have been lots of anti-Semitic images, narratives, tropes that are used that non-Jews don't see. And many times someone will say, oh, wait a minute, they showed that person playing into the cabal narrative.
How is this
as a rodent, or they showed this person with changing their name to this or that. And the average person may not intend to be anti-Semitic, although some people are anti-Semitic, but it's still there and Jews recognize it. So I don't want to presume that because a white person doesn't see it, that means that it can't be racist, or if a black person doesn't see you know what I'm saying? We have to think about those on
Sure, but like that's like a meta conversation. Do you think it's racist or not? Like you're talking about like whether people can or cannot see it as racist, which is interesting in and of itself. That whole conversation, but it's like, well, where do you fall on it, right? Do you think this is over the line or not?
All levels from multiple audiences. You used the word normal and talked about it in the context of this white woman. White women are normal, but so are other people. The problem is, historically, we have only normalized white people. And so we've made white women's bodies, white male bodies, the norm. And we've made everything else less human, less beautiful, less real. And so when we say,
sure,
are the
what
ones
a load of crap. Honestly, I'm sorry, Mark. If I may jump in on my own show, what a load of crap. I saw Beyonce do a jeans ad. Everybody drooled over it. I loved it. Thought she looked hot when she did. Right? I mean, what are you talking about, man? This is... let me ask you a straight question. Let me ask you a straight question. Does Sydney Sweeney have bad genes? Yes or no?
Oh, it's tough, guys. What do you think? Does Sydney Sweeney have bad genes? Poll in the chat. No, let me stop.
No, I don't think she has bad genes.
Does she have good genes?
Does she have good genes? Does she have good genes?
Does she have good genes?
Truly, he is a shit story. I swear. He brings like the best people together. You're like, okay, you know, you have those like friend groups where you're like, okay, I'm not really gonna mix these friend groups. Some of these people might not get along. He's like, no. I'm gonna mix these people together. You show up at the party and it's just a bunch of people that hate each other.
No, again, you're trying for these gotchas. If you
so she doesn't have good or bad genes.
The whole point is to argue that good and bad genes itself is a bad idea. It's a racist idea.
Why can't you have good genes, Mark?
Why is it racist?
If
why can't you have good genes?
You know, they are kind of gaslighting him. Like, I'm kind of on their side of the argument, but I feel like they're kind of gaslighting my man here because you understand his argument, right? That really we shouldn't be considering any genes good or bad, even though, like, in some cases, it's like, I mean, if you have like genes that like you're prone to have some sort of disease, you'd probably consider those like not good genes. But regardless, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you think about it, right? If it's like, okay, well, I'm passing on this like disease or something to somebody else, and then they like have a higher mortality rate. But again, it's like, but also what is good and bad? Because in this sense, we're just talking about, I mean, it's a sexualized commercial. The whole point of it is just the good genes part is just like the sexualized nature of the ad. It doesn't really connect to anything else. Well, they're making the connection to, okay, her being white, basically. I mean, basically her being white. I mean, it's just kind of like,
All right, I'm going to respond, and I'm going to hope that you don't interrupt me as I answer, okay? Because again...
What's going on, guys? Oh my God. Y'all are crazy.
What I'm saying is...
Stop being so precious, please.
The word, listen. The word eugenics literally means good genes. It literally means that etymologically. The point here...
Yeah, really? Oh my gosh, that's great. I did not know that.
Is to judge human beings based on their...
See, again, I can see why he's a bit flustered, right? Because he's feeling like he's being gaslit right now.
Decide that you have good genes and you have bad genes isn't in and of itself a racist.
Yeah, right.
So no, it's not that I think that I have good genes and you can't say anyone else has good genes. I'm saying let's get rid of the good genes narrative, particularly when it's based on hair and eyes and body type. Why? Because those things are racially coded. In other words, if I say that straight hair is good genes or blonde hair is good genes, and no, I'm not after watching an ad Googling someone to figure out their natural roots. You'd be shocked to know how many people don't do that. If I'm doing these things...
See, I did say that earlier, guys. We did not do that research. So he wins a point for that.
See, your eye color and your hair as a sign of your good genes, then that means someone who has a different hair or eye color doesn't have good genes. And the last thing I'll say is, if you look historically at ads, at culture...
It doesn't, though, does it? Calm down. Calm down. It doesn't actually mean that.
No.
I mean, I get his point, though. Because for there to be good, you would think there has to be bad, basically. In this instance, you could argue that good is a preference because we're talking about attractiveness now when they talk about their skin color or their eye color or whatever. I mean, you could still shoo it into like the preference category, but I mean, he is making there's like a point there somewhere.
Hang on. No, I will speak on my
own. You guys are blue-eyed white dragons, I swear. That's hilarious.
Show. So just calm down.
I'm asking you not to be condescending.
Stop being so precious. My instruction about...
He keeps calling him precious. I need to start... Dude, stop being so precious. I need to start saying that. When people are freaking out, stop being so precious. I've never heard that. Stop being so precious.
Was between the four of you, not me. It's my show. I do what I like.
Yes, I don't care if it's
my
your show,
point is this.
Well, guys, you can be how you are, and all that good stuff, but... be respectful in the chat, all that good stuff. We have a lot of arguments in chat. We got a lot of people with different views and whatnot. Don't break 2S. Don't spam. Don't be a creep. These are the rules. Otherwise, it's free speech. It's free speech, right? But don't be completely retarded. Okay?
If you interrupt me in the first minute, it's bad form. I'm saying that if you let the guest who agreed with you talk for 3 minutes, then don't allow me to talk for more than 1 second. You literally didn't let me finish the first sentence.
You have literally done more talking than all three.
It would kind of be fun to just go on Piers Morgan's show and just get triggered and just go off. Right? Because I feel like this dude has been on his show a bunch of times. And I feel like I've seen him, get heated and everything before. So I feel like you just go into this I'm about to go off. I need to outdo what I did last time. Because Piers is going to just come at you. Right? That's the whole point of this.
The guests put together multiple
that is not true.
2 or 3. So
that's not true, but my issue with you interrupting was not at this point. It was at the first 10 seconds. My point was just to interrupt me in the first 10 seconds.
So Can you calm down? Is irrelevant.
Can you calm down? I'm not angry. I'm talking over you.
I'm not angry. I'm talking over you. I love that. I do get what he means, though, as well. It's just tough when you're talking over a mic. Because you have those people that cut you off when you're talking. So you try to keep talking. I've recently run into somebody who I tried to continue saying my sentence, and they just continued talking. And we both continued talking and just kind of getting louder and louder. And it was kind of hard to talk because you're hearing somebody else talk. But I was like, no, I am determined. I am not going to stop and be interrupted. And it was very, very annoying.
Right.
Can I jump in here,
have
Piers?
blue eyes. Right. I also have good genes, particularly on my mother's side, because my skin is surprisingly good for a person of my age, because my mother's side all had good skin.
I feel like he's rubbing his hands together. He's like, this guy here. I feel like he's rubbing his hands together because he's like, oh, you think you have good genes. Like he's about to go in. He's like, oh, we got the soundbite, guys. I don't know. It's just funny to me.
Blue eyes. right? I also have good genes, particularly on my mother's side, because my skin.
Boom! It hits him because there's that latency in the. Now he's like, oh, look at his lips. He's about to go in. He's like, we're about to kill him right here, figuratively.
Mom,
is that for me?
You got a problem with that? Yes. If I say I've got good genes from my mother because I have good skin and I've got blue eyes, so what?
So what color eyes are what color eyes are bad genes? If someone has bad genes, what would their hair or skin look like?
I don't think any are bad. I didn't see anybody from American Eagle saying that anybody else is.
No one said anything.
No one from American. Just to be clear.
Hey, look, you got to give him credit. This is like 4-on-1. What is happening right now? Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The girl's on his side as well. So it's 2-on-2 with Piers Morgan obviously being against him. So it's 3-on-2.
Hang on. Nobody from American Eagle was making any comparison. Nobody said somebody else's eye color or skin color was wrong or bad or anything negative. All they said in an amusing pun is that Sydney Sweeney has good genes and is wearing great jeans. That's it. There was no negative about anybody else.
And here's why I disagree with that. Because if I were to stand on here and say, oh, she's from a good background, she's Gentile, then we would all say, well, wait a minute. I didn't compare to anybody else. No, by saying that Gentile is the good background, I would be implicitly saying that the others are not. If I say I have a good body, I'm skinny, then I'm saying that other bodies are not good. It's an implicit comparison. But
the Gentile thing, I get his point. I get his logic. But then you can't say you have a good body because that would put down other bodies. Well, that doesn't really make sense. Because again, people's good and bad, it's like, what are we talking about? Like, it's subjective to some extent, especially if you're talking about, in this case, we were talking about physical characteristics, which is sort of a personal thing. Like, everybody has their personal preferences. So I don't know, it's just weird.
Out of context, historically in this country and in the West, we've always said that white bodies are more beautiful. So it's not like we're coming out of nowhere here. This is out of Zeus's head. We're starting from a place where we've already presumed white superiority.
Mark, we have spent the last 10 years.
All right, Jedediah.
The last 10 years, if you look at all of the marketing campaigns, we have done how many?
Yo, Ray, what are you talking about? You said there's attractiveness and there's beauty. These are not the same thing. Let me think about that for a second. Attractiveness and beauty. How are those different? Can you explain to me the distinction? I'm like curious. I've not considered this or heard anybody say that before.
Many segments on television about the elevation of obesity. You see people who are massive. Now we're saying it's a good thing, right? It's great. Let's celebrate everyone who's unhealthy and obese. If this ad was an African American, if this ad was a Hispanic girl, no one would be saying a peep. Frankly,
and I do feel that way. I do feel like if it was any other group, nobody would really care or say anything.
I think if this ad was a white girl like me with brown hair, brown eyes, I got a little Spanish in me, I got a little Italian in me, I'm Sicilian, I got some African in me, I don't think anyone would be saying anything either. This is utterly ridiculous.
Yo, Piers is wild. Piers is wild. You can just watch his face when she says that. I don't know why. Maybe I'm fucked up.
Like me with brown hair, brown eyes, I got a little Spanish in me, I got a little Italian in me, I'm Sicilian, I got some African in me. I don't think anyone would be saying anything either. This is utterly ridiculous. The only people
I'm not even gonna, let me just leave it alone.
Are people who choose to be offended by everything. Either you choose to see racism in everything, or you choose to see sexism or misogyny. I noticed that a whole lot of women online were mad about this ad because they were jealous. It was so obvious. Now they're saying that this woman is against the body positivity campaign because she's skinny. So let's just say the truth. Sydney Sweeney is a sex symbol. She is a young, hot woman. She is objectively attractive. That is all this ad was about. Now, why has the stock skyrocketed for this company? The reason this ad has done so well is, yes, because it creates controversy and we all talk about it and we debate, and American Eagle is very smart and they knew that, but also because there is a growing segment of the population just like me.
So I cut off one is based on emotion, the other is based on the body or the face. So, oh, you said one's based on emotion, the other is based on body or the face's symmetry. So you're saying like beauty is based on the face's symmetry, but what was the other? Attractiveness is based on emotion, or vice versa? Vice versa?
That is saying that is so tired of walking.
Hey, that ad made a lot of money. Did you guys see the stock of American Eagle? $340 million it went up just like off of that ad. And it didn't come all the way down yet either. It maybe dropped 50% from its peak. Well, you know what I'm saying, from its gain. So
eggshells to cater to people like Mark's sensitivities. Frankly, I don't care if you're offended. You can put an ad out and offend this person over here or that person over there. Everyone is always going to get offended by something. Who cares? Here's the bottom line. Stop getting so offended.
No, I hear you, the Black Eye podcast. You got a podcast? I might come over and check it out. Crystal Jaws, thank you for the $5. Yes, the scene. We're in space, guys. We're floating in the radio station around a black hole. We don't get the greatest connection out here, but I'm glad it's working today. But I appreciate you, Crystal. But Black Eyed podcast, Black. I'm thinking of like Black Eyed Peas because it says Black Lie podcast. I'd be thinking Black Eyed Peas when I'd be reading your name. But I have to check out your stuff if you got a podcast. But anyway, you said attractiveness and beauty are subjective. Yeah, but they were making a distinction between attractiveness and beauty and saying that they're different things. So I was asking them to, explain that, difference there.
If you see everything through the lens of race, that's your problem. That's not Sydney Sweeney's problem. That's not American Eagle's problem. If you see everything through the lens of misogyny, it's the same conversation over and over again.
Yeah, hang on, don't all talk at once. No, I'm going to come to Anastasia. Anastasia, here's the problem.
She hasn't really chimed in too much. The new Dunkin Donuts commercial. Yo, I'm so glad you brought that up. I remember I saw something. I was like really tired though when I saw it. So I know that they did something. Dunkin did something. Is that a real commercial? I'm remembering it now. We're going to bring up the Dunkin Donuts. Okay. Should I bring that up now? No. We're going to get a little bit further through this. I'm going to bring up the Dunkin Donuts commercial.
Democrats have just polled at record lows, right?
Yo, okay, listen. This commercial, I'm like, meh, whatever, right? The Dunkin Donuts commercial was a little bit more on the nose, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, we're going to watch that.
Incredibly unpopular. And I can tell you one of the reasons why. It's things like this. The reason Donald Trump...
I knew there was another commercial out there because I've seen some meme ones, some AI-generated ones or meme ones. But I knew there was one real one, possibly, and it was the Dunkin Donuts one. Appreciate that.
Is partly the economy, partly immigration, but also partly the culture wars, which the liberal left, the woke left, tried so dementedly to fuel and fire for so many years, behaving like a bunch of insane fascists.
Yeah, it's one of my, Kami in chat. He's not in chat right now, one of the mods. He's from Europe, and he explains that liberal over there is much different than liberal over here. It's like more like right-wing over there, whereas, liberal over here is considered a left-wing thing. It almost sounds like it's when they say liberal, they mean classical liberal, whereas here, they just kind of mean somebody on the left.
And it comes down to stuff like this, where most people watch this ad and see it for what it is, a harmless ad with a hot actress selling jeans. But in the prism of the woke left, which I assume you would identify as, but correct me if I'm wrong, you look at it and see it as an obvious example of Nazism, eugenics, white supremacy, and you hate it and despise it, and anyone who likes it must be cancelled. And that's the problem with the woke left. That's why nobody wants to vote for anyone who identifies with the woke left. That's why Trump won. And no one on the left, in the woke left, seems to understand that it's exactly this kind of thing that is the reason that nobody wants to vote for you. Over to you.
Oh, that was cool, John Doe. He made like a flag.
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from, and I think that kind of strong narratives between, woke left, kind of hijacking everything is part of a narrative of labeling people and not allowing nuance and context of what is actually happening here. So I'm not really interested in being inflammatory around the subject. Neither do I think that this particular campaign is a propaganda campaign for eugenics. But I am interested in thinking about the power of media and representation in our culture and what it means for somebody who engages with this ad who doesn't look like me? And as a marketer, I know that actually it is American Eagle's problem that is a reaction of their customer base, which is younger people and particularly younger girls. And as a marketer, I know it's a responsibility of the brand to understand their audience, to understand their work.
Look, I think they understand their audience. Hold up. I mean, I hate to say. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, yeah, that sucks. But, I mean, literally 34%. Wait, am I looking at the right one? I feel like I am. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy. I mean, 33% is pretty insane. So that could, how much do you think they paid for that ad? Like, even if that ad cost $10 million, that was worth it. Ah, crap. Where were we?
Which is younger people and particularly younger girls. And as
thank you, Dogal MacRobbie. Real quick, guys, poll in the chat. Have we gotten all the answers on Epstein? Yep, nothing to see here. 19%, which is actually very interesting. And then no, just the tip of the iceberg, 81%. Almost every stream I've done with an Epstein poll, it's 90-10. It's like 90, we need to figure out what's going on. 10%, there's nothing to see here. So this one is actually a bigger split than normal. That's interesting.
As a marketer, I know it's a responsibility of the brand to understand their audience, to understand their worldview, the way that they form their associations, and connect with them, speak to them in a way that resonates. So it's absolutely...
Well, let me respond to that. Today's show is brought to you by...
Definitely go check out his channel. Piers Morgan Uncensored, if you want to see people be brought together to tear each other apart.
Marketing point of view, sure. American Eagle, several years ago,
ugly ass.
A lingerie campaign featuring female models with disabilities and chronic illnesses.
I was talking to chat. I was not referring to anything on the screen.
One model was pictured wearing a colostomy bag, another was photographed with her arm in crutches, one woman posed in her wheelchair, and it did nothing for sales. So from a marketing point of view, it didn't work.
Did they say a coloscopy bag? I mean, it's just, are we going to pretend we don't know how to market, that we don't know what sells? It's like it's crazy. It's kind of crazy.
You have a hot woman who is none of those things, who is just a hot woman, like the old advertising used to use all the time, along with hot men.
Well, that's the problem, though, right? Is it's, they don't want, a lot of people don't want that type of advertising, apparently, but there's a lot of people that do. Just, judging by the reaction to it. So
I remember the Calvin Klein jean ads with men, topless, selling buckets of jeans. And guess what?
Buckets of jeans. I haven't got a good bucket of jeans in a while, guys. I need to get some new jeans.
30%. So you as a marketer should say, well done, American Eagle. You've stopped being ridiculously woke, trying to sell.
Yo, I want to be in an American Eagle ad. I'll be like, my jeans are mixed. Yo. Okay, never mind. Let's focus. What's going on?
And ignoring the mass majority who are going to buy your jeans. And now you've gone route one, using sex and femininity to sell jeans. And by the way, they don't care if she's white or black or anything else. They just care that she's hot. And Beyonce sold jeans. That was a great campaign. That worked really well because she's a hot black woman. And the moment you try and read in all this other stuff, I mean, you say you don't want to be inflammatory. You literally said it was one of the most outrageously racist marketing campaigns ever. What could be more inflammatory than that?
Well, let me correct you, Pierce.
No, that was tame.
I said that I've seen in recent years. I'm very careful with my words. So I did not paint this picture of this being a racist ad.
I am so careful about saying I'm careful with my words. I feel like if I say I am careful with my words, I am about to put my foot so far in my mouth. So I try not to even say that anymore. That's just probably a me problem, but yeah.
Very careful with my words. So I did not paint this picture of this being a racist ad, ever. But I do think, and I think I've explained the way that representation works and the way that I see it working within this ad. Now, I would love to see the evidence for the 30% sales spike. I personally have not seen it. Neither I have seen, anyone in the marketing community share it. So I would love to see it and the source for that.
Granted, all we saw was the stock price go up. That doesn't necessarily translate to there being more sales. So that is a good point. I don't know how long that takes. Is that like a quarter or something? I'm curious to see what those metrics are.
However, there is a question of ethics and there is a question of ethical guardrails in marketing. I understand that in 2020 or whenever, brands were responding to the cultural moment of post-2020 impulse to increase representation, diversity, etc. And perhaps those campaigns were not commercially successful. Now, do I think that
It's just going to be really interesting because don't they project that white people will become not a minority, would they be a minority basically by 2050 or something? So all of this kind of solves itself in like 30 years, because if they're no longer the majority, then when they make an ad like this, people can't be mad for the same reasons. You know what I mean? Like in a way, right?
Outcomes justify any kind of campaign that implies anything out there just because it drives sales? Well, no, as a marketer, I am interested in driving business results, but also thinking about the ethics of representation and what kind of messages are young girls and children,
what's going on?
frankly, consuming when they log on to their Instagram or TikTok and keep swiping. And again, I said, I take a more balanced approach to this. I do not think it was intentional propaganda, as I have already said, but I do think that there are some.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional propaganda. I think that's a bit of a stretch, personally. A bit of a stretch. So, ooh. I don't even feel like watching this right now, to be honest with you. I'm going to chill for a second because, yeah, I need a break. So, let me see here. Heyo. What's going on? What's going on? There we go. I was looking the wrong way. Ozzy, are you saying him getting rid of it was a good thing? Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Ozzy? Welcome back. I think, right? But oh my gosh, it's way too quiet. Da 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 da.
Make it in fractals. Disaster, we gonna master all the factors.
Oh, hit the sub button and the like button, guys, if you enjoy the vibe. We're taking a break. It's break time. I need like a little break time. Sign or something. Like off air. Or be right back.
Trapped in time, talking to you through wires and signs. Stuck in a loop, but the loop feels right. Lost.
New space to mine. There we go. A little quieter. Oh, white people would be a minority. No, what I'm saying is it's projections that they made due to like birth rates and all of those kind of things. What I'm saying is if they're a minority, then you can't really use them being a majority as an argument for why they can't make ads like that or what have you. It was more just going against the whole, one of the arguments they were making in that Piers Morgan video.
a doctor and patient. Divide by myself, check the quotient. Overdose on emotion, mixed with existential thoughts. The combo quite potent. Roll it up, smoke it, I'm choking. Dopamine deficiency.
Yeah, I'm not a person that really cares about too much about the makeup of a place, whether it's changing or whatnot and stuff like that, unless it has like material effects that would be, you know, detrimental to people. If you're worried about a place becoming less, having less people that look like you, then you better get out there and start fucking. That's the power that you have, in my opinion. So get to work. Ooh. Oh, that's not nice. Oh my gosh. You gotta get to know him first. Come on, Root. Coming out swinging. Oh, look at you guys. Best friends. I love it. I generally have the chat on the screen, but as of recent, I haven't liked the aesthetic. But bam, now you guys are on screen. But there's not too much going on. We don't need y'all on screen. Snowflake. Oh, he hit you with the snowflake. Are you gonna take that? At least tell me you have an Uno reverse card. Therefore I fall into them frequently. Close the eyes and learn to see. Anyway. Huh. What else do we got? Here we go. Welcome to Black Hole Radio, the hangout sesh.
Like Trump in your phone like Elon. All these speed bumps, or am I driving on peons? Cryo, freeze me, thaw me, I rule for eons. Heads of my enemies, I rest my feet on. I question that.
Root's comments are insults. I refuse to have a battle of wits with an unarmed person. He said you don't even rise to the occasion. Oh my gosh. He is not threatened. Oh Lord. All right, guys. I'm sure there'll be more challengers, maybe in later stream here. Next time you cook a sausage, make sure it's not upside down. Just a piece of advice. Thank you. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the insinuation is there. I got you, bro. I do appreciate it though. Next time I cook a sausage, I will make sure, you know. I will make sure. I might cook something right now, guys. I'm kind of feeling hungry. And I need to be better. I made some, what did I make earlier? I made some eggs and rice. It's very good. Stir fry. Appreciate you guys, don't lie. Oh my gosh. What about this one?
Astro drop into the stream, yeah, the vibe's supernatural. Orbiting the thread, feeling cosmic, hitting fractals. Astro, riding chaos, that's peace and disaster. We gonna master all the factors. Thanks for tuning in, you're exactly where you need to be.
And with that, guys, I'm off for a bit. I need to get some food. Oh, energize. And honestly, I might do a little bit of gaming later. We'll catch up on some of the news and some of the memes and all that good stuff. But, yeah, I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Like I said, I'll probably be up all night doing this. So please come back. Not Laws, I appreciate you. I knew you would appreciate it. Don't worry, we're gonna have more where that came from. Yeah, just appreciate your support as always. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Notlaws is like my biggest hater, I swear to God. $10K hugs and kisses. Oh man, you kill me. Oh, right. Oh shit, let me pause the music. Oh, the poll ended with 19%, 81%. Like I said, generally it's 10 and 90 or 90 and 10. And Ozzy, when it comes to comments, if you make a comment, right, and it pops up on your screen, a lot of times it might not pop up on ours if YouTube has deemed that comment unsavory. So you'll know if we moderate your comment because it'll say, bam, you were silenced, or bam, they deleted your comment, or something like that. But if your comment just doesn't show up for people, that's just YouTube. And you kind of have to figure out what you're saying that YouTube does not like. Make Trump hair grow again. But yeah, let me end this poll. Bam, there's the results. Oh, I think they pop up in chat, don't they? Well, you guys might see them in chat. I don't know. Ended the poll. But it looks like most people still think we don't have all the information on Epstein. So hopefully we get to the bottom of it. Maybe next stream. Something tells me I doubt it. Yeah, exactly. The wording, what words, well, the wording, right, that you choose greatly affects whether or not your comments are going to show up on the stream. So keep that in mind. I wish they gave me a list of all the words and phrases and all that, but they don't do that. Or at least I'm unaware of it. So, but yes. Anyway, guys, I'll be back later on. I would let the stream go and just play some music and stuff, but Notlaw said it sucks. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board with the music. Now I'm just playing with y'all, but I'll be back in a bit. Probably a little later, like a few hours or something. Appreciate y'all. Take care. Peace.